Okay, here we go with the second video for today and our close reading. We are picking up on paragraph 5 here on page 216. So I'm going to read the entire paragraph through and then we'll go back and do our close read and our annotating. My phone was wailing at me from the tight grip his hands had on it, but I had no choice but to ignore it, like I had been forced to do for the entire fall break. Huffing, I looked up and drank in our surroundings. There were tents perched on the sides of the sandy roads, and a couple of half-naked boys were jumping into a murky lake nearby. A toddler was laughing her head off, playing with an old man who I assumed was her grandfather. I missed all of this liveliness, the beauty of a community, because I was trapped in the black hole of technology. Everyone around me was smiling, despite having to live their lives in poverty. Then I noticed something I hadn't before. No one had a cell phone on them. There were no TVs, no radios, and their music came from live instruments instead of MP3 players and iPods. These people had nothing. Some of them were even walking around without shoes. How could they look so happy? Then I thought, maybe it's because they don't have all that modern technology. They aren't subjected to the black hole of endless information. Wow, that's crazy. All right, so let's go back and look at what we can mark that's going to help us understand the author's feelings towards technology. And I think it's pretty powerful in this paragraph how she expresses her thoughts and feelings about technology. She had no choice but to ignore her phone because dad had taken it, right? So she was forced to kind of look around her and take in what was there. That's what it meant when it said, I looked up and drank in our surroundings. She's not really drinking it in, right? What is she doing? She's taking it in through her eyes. She's observing everything that's going on. And she starts to explain how there were tents perched on the side of the road, half naked boys jumping into a murky lake, a toddler laughing her head off, right? It goes on to say, hang on, let me make sure my highlighter's there. Um, and this one I'm going to highlight a little bit differently. Missed all this liveliness and the beauty of a community because I was trapped in the black hole of technology. And I'm immediately going to put a text box on the side. She realizes what she is missing by being on her phone. Everybody is not as lucky as her to realize this. It continues on with everyone around her was smiling despite living in poverty. Um, they had no cell phones, no TVs, no radios, no anything. And this is a very powerful statement. These people had nothing. Some of them even walking around with shoes. How could they look so happy? And then she realized maybe it's because they don't have all that modern technology. And again, I'm going to change this part. They aren't subjected. Whoa, hang on. They aren't subjected to the black hole of endless information. That's a pretty strong realization of what is happening around her. Realizes the negativity, oops, I spelled that wrong, of technology. Again, if you need to pause my video in order to get that highlighting done and the annotating, please, please, please stop and pause it. I'm going to go on with paragraph number 6. And as Austin would be very quick to point out for me, And probably most of you now, we do have a word here that is standing out. It's written differently. It is digesting. And again, it links with the definition on the side. You know, digesting is thinking over, mentally taking in. It's not the digesting of food, it's the digesting of information. So let's read through paragraph 6 and then we will be done for the day. I carried my insightful observation all the way to the temple, and my breath caught in my throat when we got there. It was stunning. When the guide started a long speech about the origin of the temple, I turned to face him. Then I realized I was inside the black hole again. I was paying attention to the information the guide was throwing at me instead of also recognizing this once-in-a-lifetime experience. When would I be able to visit one of the 7 wonders of the world again? The answer was pretty clear. So keeping one ear with the guide and turning the rest of myself to the temple, I soaked in the extraordinary sight before me. For once, I wasn't digesting useless information. I wasn't typing into my phone or watching any screen at all. In a life of go, 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 I had finally stopped. And I think that very last statement is super powerful in what we want to say, that supports that the author thinks that technology is harmful to us. She said that in a life of go, 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 she had finally stopped. And what happened when she finally stopped, guys? What did she realize? She realized that she not only was lost in a black hole through her technology, but at one point she realized she was inside a black hole again, paying attention to information the guide was throwing at her. She compares that guide to technology. That's something I want you to write on the side here. Compares the guide, oops, I spelled guide wrong. Compares the guide to be the same as technology, which is kind of weird. She then started to realize what was going on around her. She knew that she was never going to be there again. She kept one ear on the guide, but she turned turning the rest of myself to the temple, she soaked in the extraordinary sight before me. So she changed. She changed and enjoyed where she was. That's pretty powerful because not many of us realize that we're kind of stuck in a rut. She didn't want to take in that useless information, right? There's that useless information. I would even put an exclamation point there. I really want to focus on the fact that she learned to stop. She separated herself from technology, not by choice either. Remember, it was her father that took that phone away from her. And by him making that choice, he gave her the greatest present in the world. He gave her that ability to see what was going on around her and the beauty of what was there. All right, I'm going to stop there. Tomorrow we will finish. Oh no, let's go. We got one paragraph left. Let's finish this. We've got this. If you need to pause to do your notes, please do. But we are going to continue on and finish this up. It was then that I vowed that the next time my friends and I are absorbed in our phones on a sunny day, I won't close the curtains. Next time I'm walking along any road, I'll value my surroundings instead of texting on a device. From now on, I will make sure that the endless information flying my way won't go in one ear and out the other. I will find the significance in things and recognize it, because that's something that many people fail to do. By falling into that technology trap, escape the black hole of technology, because when you do, you feel free. So we have some things here that I want to mark. Escaping that black hole of technology. She's saying how she won't close the curtains, that she'll value her surroundings, and that shows how she has changed, right? I will find the significance in things and recognize it, because it's something many people fail to do by falling into the technology trap. And the last thing I want to write on the side is free yourself of the black hole, because that's how she wanted it to be. All right, so we are going to end here. Make sure that you finish your close reading and you're annotating. And tomorrow, whether I'm in or not, we are going to be working on these questions during class. So don't worry about getting them done today. You will work on them tomorrow. All right, you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you.